Mike Somerville and Urs Kalasinski having a little bit of back and forth on Instagram. Now, this was regarding a video that Urs had done, giving his classic physique Olympia predictions. In this video,
All right, good morning, YouTube. So we are chilling in the garage, just finished some steps, and today is check-in day. Technically tomorrow, but considering we are going to be going for a off-plan meal today, my wife and I, Chanel, I always like to do my check-ins that morning. That way, just in case anything were to go wrong in regards to digestion with the off-plan meal, we can switch things up accordingly and make sure that everything is set in stone. And here comes the pups. You stay down. It's a new couch for the office. It's got in the garage for the time being before we get the drywall set in. That way we just don't get it all dirty and all dusty. So, figured with check-ins in itself going on today, we will throw up some photos of the check-in in itself. Just kind of show you guys how things are looking. And I'll definitely go ahead and show you guys, or at least talk about what the current cycle looks like as well. Just to be as transparent as possible. Choco, get down. Good boy. So yeah, as of right now, again, we just finished up the tidy up phase. Ended off at 208.2. Brought food up probably 400 calories, if that, over the last week and a bit. And the body is just primed. We are slowly going up in weight. We're up at 210.8 today. But that also has to do with the cycle adjustments. So we're now at 500 mgs of test, 1,000 primo, 800 mgs of mast. We'll still keep trending at 100 mgs. And then we got 10 IUs of growth, 10 IUs of Atlantis, and then we got some T3, T4. T4 at 100 micrograms a day, T3 25 micrograms a day, SLU, SLU at 500 micrograms fasted, and then 250 micrograms pre-workout. And that's essentially it. I know it might sound like a lot to some people, but again, over the duration of my cycles, we take about a 20 to 22 week long cycle duration, and we start stupid low, and we add up the milligrams when and if needed. And it's worked phenomenally over the last couple of years. And of course, when it comes time for you to be competing in the pro leagues, I should say, you have to push barriers slightly. Did I run stuff like this as a amateur? Not a chance in shit. Obviously, pushing for my pro card that my last amateur season, yeah, we got a little bit more aggressive with things, and it paid off. It got the job done. But the biggest thing is we always get blood work done. We've got EKGs done. We've done Holter monitors. We've done the works just to make sure that everything internally is functioning at its optimal degree. So that's where we're at right now for the cycle. It probably won't change all that much in regards to the last tail half of this push phase, or cycle phase, I should say, because really there comes a point where the risk versus reward does not yield the progress that you want, if that be for your health, but also for your physique. And I'm in this for the long run, right? And I'm only 30. I'd love to compete for another 5-6 years at the very least. And I want to make those 5-6 years as healthy as possible and take care of myself, So that's the game plan for now. But again, I'll toss up some check-in photos of this morning. But to touch base back onto the off-plan meals and how to go about doing them. For myself personally, and when I try and preach to all my clients as well, when you have an off-plan meal, regardless if you are a seasoned athlete, lifestyle client or not, I always try and preach the fact of pulling your calories down within the meal before or after, or both of those two meals, depending on the size of the actual off-plan meal. Of course, You want to be eating respectfully. You don't need to be going crazy with the amount of food within these off-plan meals, but you also want to make sure that you are staying within your caloric intake for the day. So for myself today, I think we're just going to do like a homemade pasta, just because I haven't had spaghetti in God knows how long, at least 4 or 5 years. My mom used to make a mean one, so I'm going to try and replicate it. But what we will do, especially because I'm making everything at home, I have a little bit more control, or I have all the control over what's going into the food in itself, in regards to no extra oils or butters, etc. But still, I'm going to go ahead and, Shaka wanted me to throw his frog. Go ahead and at least pull 25% of the carbohydrates away from the meal before that off-plan meal, and we'll see how the meal in itself sits, and then we might pull away another 25% of the carbohydrates from the meal afterwards. And again, this is just really to make sure that we're not surpassing our caloric intake for the day, that you can still have that off-plan meal, but at the end of it all, you are still within a reasonable shot of what your calories should be, what your macros should be for that given day. And in doing so, it really controls your body composition, your gut health, and you can have 2 meals like this per week, or even 3 meals like this per week if you're a lifestyle client. Personally, myself, always have 2. I'll space them out by 3 or 4 days per the week. We'll go out for dinner, we'll make a meal, keep it healthy. One might be slightly dirtier than the next. So when talking about that, we'll normally go out for a burger and fries for one meal, for example, or chicken wings for another meal. And then the second off-plan meal per week, it'll be like a nice steak dinner. So you gotta have that balance. You can't just be eating garbage. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that is a useful tip. And God forbid if I can't throw these photos into the video in itself, I'll toss it to the back of the clip as a whole. But remember, like, share, subscribe, allow me to grow this and provide a little bit more worth to you guys throughout my own personal journey. And if anything resonates with you, that is a win in itself. Peace out.